Cocktails. I'm your host, Curtis McMillan, not Derrick Schomer, and I won the show all to myself. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Hopefully that didn't come off sounding too much like a car salesman. So I had pretty much a whole week after Peyton Manning destroyed poor Derrick's little team to come up with an interesting idea for today's cocktail show. And it could have went either direction. I could have went really silly and just done something like talk about cheese the whole time, or I would just do something nice so that Derrick didn't try to snap my neck after I got done doing the show. I thought that it would be really cool to talk about pre-prohibition cocktail books, because this is something that's like very close to my heart. I've spent so many times digging through these, and I think that it's important for us to try to recreate as many of these recipes as possible, because we forget that at the day and age when these guys were really at their peak, they were the master bartenders of the world, not just master bartenders of their regional area, but of the world that you know. Yeah. So to make that more concise, the bigger picture here is that these recipes are coming from people that were at the peak of their game, and the recipes themselves have just fallen into disrepair and just are no longer really getting moved or used. So as wonderful cocktail enthusiasts out there in the real world start to take those things in, I think it's time for us to start building them, getting our own personal opinions of them. And there's a lot of really cool things in there that you probably are traditionally not used to. So I took the King Cole out of the Savoy Cocktail book, and I am going to recreate this. This is something that I've never done before. So the idea behind it was, it looked like it was a fruity old fashioned. So it called for the use of fruit. Now, it wasn't really specific as to what type of fruit to use, but it's going to be a stirred cocktail, much like how the rest of the old fashions are done. And let me see if I can get this little piece of fruit in there. Oh, little piece of fruit. Go. Okay, cool. Now, the reason why I was really psyched about this cocktail is because we're going to use the Manhattan Hudson Rye for 2 ounces. And just getting used to these new shot measuring glasses.
Hey, we're fine.
Okay, so there's our 2 ounces right there. And we're going to do a 1/2 ounce of simple syrup. Now, you can do, they talked about doing like a sugar, but, you know, if you have a simple syrup, just work with what you got. So 1/2 ounce of the simple. Okay, there we go. Now, even though I'm looking at the proportions, hopefully that doesn't like throw you guys off. And a dash of Mr. Branca. I like to dash out over my wonderful little bar spoon here. Dash it. Dash it. Okay, there's my dash. Now I'm going to pack my little fruity friend here with ice. And I'm going to drop the Fernet Branca. And I'll pick up the Fernet Branca.
Good job.
You know what? I didn't spill anything, so I'm already doing better than the other person who might do this show. Oh.
Now, if you do spill something,
I know. Now I really have to be careful.
You're gonna watch. That's a lot of fruit.
It's a lot of fruit. Okay.
Is there any alcohol in there, or is it just fruit and water?
It's pretty much just fruit and water. My old-fashioned glass is over here. It is over here. And that, my friends, is the King Cole. Now, let's taste this bad boy and see what type of concoction I've gotten myself into.
Tasty.
Ooh. That's a little different. Fernet is kind of playing with the rye at the end. The simple syrup kind of like mellows everything out, and the fruit is really gentle. I would say this is kind of like a bourbon drink with a little bit of a hint of fruit to it. And I'm not really picking up much on the Fernet. It's pretty interesting though. I think color-wise it's really cool. It kind of looks like a weird fruit julep meets a rye whiskey cocktail. I like it though. I think this is really a keeper. But this goes back to the original statement. This cocktail probably hasn't been on a cocktail menu, at least not in the traditional sense or the mainstream sense, in a long period of time. I think these things need to come around. I think that there's a lot of stuff that I would be very excited to try a cocktail like this and get the opportunity to taste these things that are just missing. And I would taste something like this. I would see that it had Fernet and it had rye whiskey, and I would be really excited for the prospect of what is going to come out of it. But this is not even remotely close to what I expected. So fun and interesting way of how flavors sometimes can change and drastically change just from simple ingredients changing. So without that,
Question of the day.
I am to go into the question of the day. You know, you're just jumping to my question of the day. I think the biggest question of the day, especially with the old cocktail book, do you own a cocktail book? And if you do own a cocktail book, what is your favorite cocktail book? I mean, there's so many out there to choose from the PDT cocktail book or Dale DeGroff's cocktail book, the Savoy Cocktail book. I think that there's just so many choices, but I would love to see what you guys think is your favorite cocktail book. And you can put your comments underneath here. Not under the table, but underneath here, and tell us what you think. So that is the question of the day. And I am here from Common Man Cocktails, and you can buy these glasses at AmazingDrinks.com. And
AwesomeDrinks.com.
I'm teaching you how to drink better than Derrick.
Keep